All right, this is the fourth time I've recorded this. I'm just going to get straight to the point. LM Studio had probably the biggest update ever, or at least, the biggest update in recent memory. This update is super important. Like, out of all of the, updates in the last year, probably, there were some really good updates as well before this one. But this one is, so important. They've added tool calls that you can add. So at the moment, as far as I can tell, there's no easy way of creating and adding your own tool calls. However, uh, I do know the folder location of these tool calls. It's actually really easy. If you just go to models, go up here, open. So you open your models directory, then you just back out and go to extensions, plugins, boom. So this was me attempting to add my own, and it doesn't seem like it worked. So, huh, interesting. Interesting. That's interesting because I was literally able to delete a folder earlier. So this is funny. Oh, I guess it was a folder that I created, to be fair. Can I just read only? Apply. Okay. Okay. You're a bitch. You recover permissions from to make changes. I'm whatever, man. I don't give a shit. Anyways, um once I find out how to add my own tools, I'll be very happy. And if it's possible to make it so I don't have to do it in TypeScript and I can instead write it in like Python or something, like write the functionality in Python, that would be great. Uh, but that's just something I'll have to figure out if it's possible or not. Um, but yeah, so with this new update, uh, there is another way of adding like your own custom tools. This would be the easy way, uh, where you do this in Python. Which, yeah, this is the easy way of doing it. But like, for instance, if I wanted to have LM Studio, uh, at the moment I'm interfacing it into Visual Studio Code using the continue extension. So obviously, by doing that, if I were to do the Python way of uh, adding in custom tool calls, we would run into an issue of the fact that these tool calls would not be able to be called within uh, continue, I would assume at least. So that's why I don't want to do it that way. Uh, I would like to be able to just have them built in to LM Studio, because that would be neat. But who knows? Maybe it's not possible. Maybe it is possible. I'll just have to fuck around to find out. Interesting. I wonder what this frameworks is. Maybe that's presets? Well, no, presets is a different thing. I don't know what frameworks are then. Anyways, so yeah, massive update with this plugins thing, which technically plugins actually happened like 2 months ago when they added this rag, but it was only recently that they made it so tool calls can also be created. Originally, it was just this rag thing and MCP servers. Those were the only two things. But now they've added tool calls as a functionality of the integrations. So that's amazing. Um, and that also means that all of the issues I've been running into with trying to give Neuron the stupid um, her tools and whatnot, this will make those problems disappear, hopefully. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. Obviously, with NeuronTheStupid, I can just do this, but then I wouldn't be able to interface her once again with Visual Studio Code, which would suck. So preferably, I'd want to be able to just make them, built into my LM Studio. But um, it's it remains to be seen if that is actually doable. Sadly. Anyways, the other thing that I wanted to talk about. So that's pretty much all the NeuronTheStupid stuff, besides the fact that she'll come up in a second here. Um, I've been working on a first person shooter game for a while now. It's been almost a year now. Uh, Obviously, there was this massive hiatus right here for reasons. But yeah, I've been back on the grind and I've been, posting updates fairly regularly. I do about once a week ish. Uh, so yeah, I do about a once a week devlog update of just this is what I did, this is what I added, blah, blah. And so I've been streaming every now and then, myself working on this game, but I thought now that LM Studio has tool calling, I kind of want to get back into developing Neuron a little bit. It shouldn't be too difficult now with this to rewrite the code that I've already written to work with this stuff, because at this point, LM Studio has almost, like, theoretically, actually, with these tool calls, I could 100%, because with RAG, for instance, it has this stuff here. So I could actually, which I think RAG is not, it's not considered a tool. Instead, I think it acts as maybe an MCP server or something. I'm not really sure how this one functions and what it changes, but pretty much, I can actually create my own custom interfaces using this within this program integration section. So all of the stuff, like the I think I think in this video I show off. I guess I can open this one up. I think I show off the yeah, fuck off YouTube. So instead of having my shitty ass control panel and everything here, I can instead do it in here. Obviously, the one thing that I wouldn't be able to set up is this right here. This would not be something, as far as I know, this would not be something I can actually recreate myself through LM Studio alone. Although, since they did add in this stuff, it's not exactly out of like it's not exactly a impossibility of being able to allow people to add their own buttons to the interface. And then, like, I could add a button here that would be a little control panel button. I click on it, and then I'd be able to create my own custom stuff like this. So that's not exactly out of the possibility, since they already have this created. So I definitely will be giving some suggestions of, like, cool features that this integrations thing can build off of, such as creating your own buttons, or like maybe in the developer area you could allow people to create their own interfaces and whatnot. So instead of having the developer log, a uh, you could have people able to create custom visualizers of the developer log based on code that they write within the integration section or whatever, similar to RAG. Uh, but yeah, with this, I can pretty much turn a lot of the control panel stuff, like all the switches, So all these switches and whatnot, the update tools, which I wouldn't actually need to do anymore because it automatically updates if I do fuck off that. See, I can turn it off and then I can also just do this and it automatically updates as far as I know. So if I do that, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so I can automatically just on the fly adjust what tools are allowed to be used and it updates immediately for the LLM. So yeah, and so I could also create switches for disabling the different stuff. The only thing that would be difficult would be these STT, TTS, and LLM switches. I think that would still have to be primarily written in Python and not something that I could recreate within the framework of LM Studio. But yeah, so I'm thinking of this is my plan. I'm going to try and learn how to add my own plugin if it's possible. And then I'm going to rewrite a good amount of NeuronTheStupid to work mostly by itself within LM Studio. The things that I won't be able to do that with will obviously be, like I said, the STT and TTS. Those are the two that like I can't do that with. I think this doesn't. Yeah, this doesn't have like a microphone button. Which I mean, once again with these integrations, I could theoret. Oh, oh, interesting. That's interesting. Anyways, um, yeah, actually, since it pops up here, clearly, clearly, I think it's doable that if they wanted to, they could allow for more customization of the UI, such as allowing people to add in a button right here that would, when clicked, like somebody could create a integration for STT, you know, and then there would be a button here, and you would click that button, and you would talk. It would save your voice, and then it would run the STT integration, and then it would turn that into text that would be sent to the model. Yada yada yada. Like that's something that would 100% be doable. They could do that, I assume, based on what I have seen with a lot of this stuff so far. Anyways, so my plan is like I said, I'm going to try and recode NeuronTheStupid where I'm going to utilize as much of LM Studio's built in functions and creating my own functions and whatnot, if possible. If I can't create my own functions, that's fine. I can just stick with Wikipedia for now, since that was pretty much one of the only custom functions I tried to create, anyways. So it's not a big deal. Um, but yeah, so then uh, as you can see, I have this little thing here, this extension called continue, which is for running it's kind of like GitHub Copilot, except you're using your own local LLM, so you're not spending any money on it. But this actually allows you to connect specifically to LM Studio, as you can see right here with the config YAML. I already have it set up. Obviously, I can actually change this. So one thing I could do is the API base, and then I would just, type in the URL. So I can actually, as I've explained in the past, I actually run NeuronTheStupid on a laptop that is next to me, that's next to my main computer. So I could actually still do that since my laptop and my desktop are on the same network. I can just, put in the IP address of my laptop for this API base, and it'll function. So yeah, I could totally interface NeuronTheStupid fully with my computer through LM Studio, or not LM Studio, through Visual Studio Code. using LM Studio, obviously, for running the majority of Neuron at this point. And then the other thing is this also has built-in tools and a MCP server thing that you can do. But this doesn't actually work. Every time I click add, it doesn't actually do anything. So I've given up on trying to set that up because I think it's stupid anyways. But yeah, it has all these like really cool built-in features, which kind of scare me. I feel like I am giving my AI way too much power by having a lot of these set to automatic. But yeah, you can change prompts. You can create a documentation thing, which I haven't been able to get that one to work all that well either. So for the most part, I've just kind of ignored a lot of this stuff. In fact, I'll keep these tools actually. I was going to say I might turn these tools off, but I'll actually keep these ones for the AI to use if it wants, because these are actually necessary for helping me with coding. But, anyways, once I get Neuron in a functional state where she's working with through LM Studio and I can connect her to Visual Studio Code, I think I'll actually start streaming uh, with NeuronTheStupid again of me working on my Unreal Engine video game with the help of Neuron, who most likely will probably try to sabotage the project every step of the way. So, we have some fun things to look forward to. The worst part is I am not very good at C++. It's one of the coding languages I really don't know much about. I don't know enough about, at least, which is why I have this AI, which is why I installed this extension, is because I wanted an AI that would be able to help me in case I fuck up at any point. But I'm also good at, I'm not gonna lie, because of how good I am with coding, I'm able to point out mistakes an AI makes. So I have a feeling it'll work out well because I think the AI will catch some of my mistakes. I'll catch some of the AI's mistakes. So I think together the end result will be better than if it was just me coding it or just the AI coding it. I mean, the end result will definitely be better than if just the AI was coding it. Uh, but I hope that the end result will also be better than if I just tried to code it myself. Because once again, I don't know that much about C++. Uh, the only coding languages I'm good with are C# and Python. Uh, I know a little bit of HTML and CSS and JavaScript. I know enough to make a functional website. It's not going to look good, but it'll be functional. But with C++, I don't think I would be good enough to just hop in and make a video game. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. Hopefully it all goes well. Hopefully, you know, I can. I'm hoping that if I can get it all done today, that would be fantastic. Like getting Neuron and Visual Studio Code and LM Studio, just all of it set up and working and functional and whatnot. That would be great, as then I'd be able to hopefully stream myself working on my video game tomorrow. Because right now I'm just doing a lot of setting up for preparing myself to begin the process of transitioning what at the moment is just blueprint Unreal Engine code. I want to transition it to C++. Uh, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And yeah, so hopefully either tomorrow or Sunday. Yeah, either tomorrow or Sunday, hopefully, I'll be able to begin streaming myself uh, working on my first person shooter game. Uh, until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.